Hey guys, my name is Daniel Duncan, and you're watching Daniel Duncan Creations. So today, I wanted to talk about semen retention and why I believe you have to get on semen retention. It's like a superpower, honestly. I've been on semen retention here and there. My longest streak was like about 3 months or so. I think I hit 3 months, maybe 3 months and a half. um, Here and there. Right now, I'm currently at 46 days semen retention streak, and it's honestly been really good. You probably hear it on other YouTube videos, but when you're on semen retention, you've just got so much energy, and you gotta channel that energy into positive things. Like when you're on semen retention, you got so much energy, like you're just like so hyped up. Like I just get so hyped up sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I gotta like channel this energy into like working out. I've been working out a lot more recently on my semen retention. I've been working out in general for the past I think 2-3 months more than I usually would. But especially on semen retention, you're just like you're dialed in. You're just going crazy, and like you've got so much energy. So it's important that when you're on semen retention, that you find outlets that you can you know um, express this energy in a positive way, because if you don't, which I've had happen to me, you literally you'll just go down the rabbit hole, or you could get crazy, and you'll just you know lose track and focus of what you need to do, and just like because you got all this energy and you're not letting it out in positive ways, like working out or focusing on your business or starting a business, or prioritizing your life in the best way possible, and things that you need to do get done. If you're behind in things, then you'll just like go kind of relapse, whether that be for you, masturbating and watching porn. Like no guy should be doing that. Like I've been there too. But or you hook up with your girl, or one of these side chicks, and just like what, for a couple of seconds of pleasure, it's not worth it, really. Come on. Like your seed is so powerful. Like you got to keep it, and that's another thing. When you hold on to your seed, like people look at you differently too. Like people sense it. And I've heard that from other people too, and other creators out there, but like I've experienced it for myself. Like people like kind of notice you more, or like even when I'm going out ordering food, like girls would kind of look at you a little more intently, or kind of like make more eye contact, and it's just like they see something, but they don't know what's up. And it's honestly like it's crazy, and I think like especially on semen retention, it also depends on your outlook on things. But I feel like, when you're retaining your seed, you're kind of more tapped into, call it God or the universe, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like I'm a lot more tapped in, like a lot more synchronicities are happening for me. And like I'm just meeting people left, front, and center. I'm just like going out for a bike ride, or going out, and I just you know happen to bump into somebody, and then that goes from a connection from there, and it's just like crazy. Like I've in the past couple weeks, like I've really wanted to start up this YouTube channel, but I've been kind of like nervous and afraid, being on camera and whatever, that sort of thing. But like, how many times, like these past like 2 weeks especially, I've just like met random people doing their own thing, and then chatting with them, and then they mentioned, oh yeah, like I'm starting a YouTube channel, or I have a YouTube channel. And it's like, I do YouTube, I create content, and they're like smaller platforms, like maybe 1K sub or something like that. But like it's like, okay, like I've been thinking about it, and now like the universe is pushing out, is make like meeting these types of people. And I literally, I want to create content, and it's like kind of like, okay, like things are kind of coming along, and I'm experiencing different things and meeting the right people, type sort of say, right? So like semen retention, I feel, is just has so many benefits. Like because I used to be at the point where myself, I was like having sex every day with my then ex girlfriend, like every day, multiple times a day, just like busting a nut all the time, like 3-4 times a day, and like I felt so drained, I felt depressed, and I was just like, feel like I didn't have a purpose in life. Like life was, you would think, oh, life is comfortable. I had a girlfriend, I got it all, everything, but it wasn't like that, because you're just like wasting your seed, your energy, and only later that I came to this path and I discovered semen retention, and from there, like, kind of changed my life. But I found out you can't just be on semen retention and not have a purpose, because when I was on semen retention, when I found out about it, I think I've known about semen retention for about, maybe I say 2 years now, about 2 years. I have to think back to it. But anyway, somewhere around 2 years. So when I first started, I wasn't really with my ex at that point. We were kind of on and off type of thing. And, I was just kind of still sad and depressed, and I wasn't doing too much with my life. And I felt that, like, kind of like energy inside, but I wasn't doing anything with it. Like, I was exercising more. Like, my thing is, like, I always love mountain biking, so I always go biking and that sort of thing. So I was biking more and things like that, but I wasn't, like, so driven, because I wasn't dealing with a lot of other things within myself. And I think at that point too, I was still drinking. So that's another thing. I don't drink right now. I don't drink anything. I don't smoke. But drinking for me has been the biggest problem in the past, in high school, and even a little bit. Well, it started in high school, really, with high school buddies and stuff. But that's a different topic that I can talk about on another video if people are interested. But so being really, like, sober and semen retention and having a purpose, working out and improving yourself every step along the way, eating clean, eating healthy, like, it just makes so much life changes. It's crazy. And a lot of it is the fundamental coming from semen retention, because, before this, I had 46 days, I think. Today's 46. I'm not even keeping count anymore. I just checked my calendar for this video. But, I was seeing my ex a little bit, and we hooked up and whatnot. And I was like, okay, the sex felt good, whatever, it was in the moment. But I'm like, I was on like this, before I had sex 46 days ago, we just kicked it with my ex. I was in this drive. I was exercising a lot, and I was eating relatively clean, right? But as soon as I hooked up with her and had sex a couple times between 2-3 nights, and then had sex a couple times, like, I felt like that energy drain. It's like, and I wanted to work out, and I wanted to still be on my game, work out the same way I was previously, the same amount of intensity of my exercise, cardio. But I'm like, it was a lot harder. Like, I didn't have that, like, energy. Like, it was like, oh man, like, I'm not there, So I had to take a couple days, 4, 5, 6 days, and I took it a bit easier. I was lazier, I wasn't as driven, as motivated, but I still wanted to be. But that energy is not there, because, like, you released your seed, you release that energy that's, like, so powerful. So, being on semen retention is kind of like, I say, the base fundamental to build everything else upon. Because even if you want to work out, you want to be jacked, you want to be in shape, if you're always coming and stuff, you won't be on, like, your top tier mental game and your levels of energy. Like, you won't be there. I've experienced that recently, so that's kind of a reminder for me. And if you kind of go on and off, you probably see that for yourself too. You'll see you just don't have that same energy. You don't have that same, like, drive. So I really suggest that you guys try to go on semen retention, and when you're on semen retention too, it's like everything, like, changes. Like, it's crazy. Like, I look at, like, you see some girls are like, yeah, they're attractive or whatever. They look attractive, okay? But it's like, I heard other people say that too, and it's like, I didn't understand until more recently, until I got into the longer streaks too a bit, and I saw it for myself. But it's like, you start to value your own energy. You start to value like being at this point in holding on to your seed, attaining and retaining this energy you've accumulated by holding on to your seed and not coming. And you see girls and you see kind of like them act in a certain way that's a bit like off or funny. Like I see that, I'm like, I don't find that attractive, because like now it's like I put myself and my energy at such a higher value than now seeing some of the other girls I used to talk to, or like, even some of the actions of my ex and stuff that I see going on. It's like I don't really find that attractive anymore. It's like that's a kind of lower quality vibe type stuff, right? And it's like you don't even want to entertain yourself, your energy and who you are, with those same girls that you used to like kick it with and stuff, because you value yourself more, because you see you are more valuable and you are holding on to something so pure and high energy. You're not gonna just waste your time with like whatever girls. Like you start to like have more value for yourself, and you want higher value girls too. That's another thing that I found out for myself too. So I definitely say try semen retention. It will change your life. Like at least try for 30 days to be on semen retention and give it a go. I say, as long as, if you can get past the first 2 weeks, for me personally, I found the first 2 weeks are the hardest. Every time I relapse and have sex, the 2 weeks is the hardest. Like that's the biggest come up. I feel like the first 2 weeks, you've reinstated this energy, and it's like, especially if you're coming all the time, or you're masturbating all the time, or you're having sex all the time, and you're not used to semen retention, and you don't really know about it, and you just hop on semen retention, the first 2 weeks, that energy just like builds up so intense, and you don't even know how to handle it, because it's just so like, you're not used to having this much energy. So that's especially important to like keep yourself busy, working out, go do positive things, focus on your business, or be working out, create goals, schedule for yourself. That's what I find. Those 2 weeks are pretty critical and important. And I find for myself, and it's around that period. It's maybe some people are 2 to 3 weeks. I've always found it to be around, it peaks around 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, it slows down. Like you still got lots of energy, but that like chaotic, crazy, like you're just so horny, and any girl you see, you just want to go and fuck, and like, you're like being an animal or whatever. That goes away kind of at 2 weeks. Like you still got plenty of energy, and your energy is building, but now you know how to tame it and handle it, and you can handle that energy responsibly, and it's kind of integrated more. It's not so new, and it's easier to handle. Like that phase doesn't last forever. So if you get through the first 2 weeks, I say it gets easier after that, and the benefits just keep getting better and better. And I say you can't experience a lot of these things until you go on the longer term streaks of semen retention. And honestly, over time, I've realized, if you think about it, all these benefits of semen retention, everything that I talk about and all these other guys talk about too, while being on semen retention, you should always kind of be on semen retention. There's no reason not to be on semen retention. So you build up your business, you get the girl you like because she's attracted to you, because you are more of a man, you're doing things with your life, and she also senses that energy from you, because you're holding on to your seed. You're vibrating much higher, at a much higher vibrational frequency, and women, females, they can pick that up. Like they sense that like crazy, like they'll like smell it out of you, but they don't actually smell it, but they can feel that energy. Women are, they're very intuitive. They're beautiful creatures, and you guys all heard that women are usually seen as the intuitive ones, and they are very intuitive. So they will feel that energy from you, because most guys out here, they're either always masturbating, beating their dick off to porn, watching little pixels on screens. How much of a man is that? Or they're always just having sex, busting a nut multiple times a day. And you got no energy. You're so depleted, like you can't do nothing. So when she sees you around, you're a much different guy. You stand out. Especially if you're doing things too, you're being productive on your semen retention, you're working out, you're taking care of yourself, you either started your business or you're doing well in your work or you're trying to start a business, like you stand out a lot. So basically, being on semen retention should be a lifestyle. It shouldn't be like, okay, I'm going to do semen retention for 30 days and, I'm going to get women or get all these benefits and then I'm going to go like, start beating my dick off again or just, fucking girls because I got these girls now and they like me and then you have them and then you'll be like, all right, I have sex with them. But you know what? Even that could fall off too because like once they kind of got you, you don't have that same vibe, that same energy that attracted them in the first place. There's a reason that those, let's say better girls came to you in the first place is because they sensed that energy of you. You were like kind of peaking, you were on your game, you were doing your thing, right? And you were retaining your seed, and then as soon as you bust, you're not as motivated, you're tired, and then you kind of fall off your game, you're not doing your business, you're not working out anymore, and then you start eating, you don't eat clean, you start falling off the wagon, and then the same very thing that got that girl attracted to you in the first place now, you don't got any of that anymore. So like, it's not, semen retention is not for like getting girls. You can get girls no matter what. Like semen retention is not for that. It's literally for bettering yourself and becoming the best version of yourself and just becoming kind of like superhuman. Literally, you turn kind of superhuman at that point. But the only times somebody shouldn't be on semen retention is once you built yourself up, all right? You built yourself up like to the max degree, which would be a very long time. Basically, the only time is maybe with your wife or your fiance and you want to have a kid. That's the only good reason I would say to come and to like orgasm and have like sex like that, because other than that, you're just depleting this energy from you. And trust me, I've tried. Like I thought like, okay, like, I'll go 3 months. I go sicko mode and I'm in my zone, I've built things up, I'm doing good, and I'm like, and back then I'm like, okay, with my ex, and then like, have sex, and it was like, sure, it was good, like, you feel good, you feel relaxed, you're in like La La Land, but after that, you're just, the brain fog, you're not as motivated, and for what? Like, having sex could be whatever. It could be half an hour, it could be an hour, depending who you are. But the fact of coming is like a couple seconds of pleasure and then it's over. And then, okay, maybe you feel that relaxing sensation for like 5-10 minutes after, if you even feel that. I don't know. But it's not worth it. Like, especially everything that comes after. Tiredness, foggy-headed, you're unmotivated, like you just don't got that drive. So I've come to terms with this. This is a lifestyle because it literally builds you up as a man. This is a lifestyle that you kind of need to build for yourself. And maybe, you got to experience that for yourself, because I heard other people say that too, other content creators, and they were like, it should be a lifestyle, it's not like kind of choice to only do 30 days and then go back to having sex or back to masturbating, but maybe you need to experience it for yourself, because I really realized that through experience, through myself. Once you feel so good and you do 30 days, you do even 60 days, and you do more than 60 days, like you feel good about yourself. And then when you have sex with, say, your girlfriend or just a girl you kick it with, and then you have sex and then you release all that and it just all goes, your energy, that motivation, that drive just goes, and you see how you feel back after you're like coming, you see that it's not the same. And you're like, man, like it's not worth it. Because when you're all like high on your high horse and you're like getting things done, you've got motivation, you're working, you're just killing it at everything, and you're working on your physique, you're working out, you got so much drive, you got that energy, people like to talk to you, people are just kind of gravitating more towards you, and then you kind of lose it just like that, from sex, just like that. And for what? Are you trying to create a life? Are you trying to bring another life into this world? A child of yours into this world? No. That's what the purpose of, sex is. Creating another life, bringing to this world. And when we have sex, most of the times we're not doing it to bring life into this world. We're doing it for self-gratification, just to have pleasure, And most of the time it's meaningless too, depending on who you are. A lot of guys out here, you guys like just go fuck this random girl just because it feels good, and what does it do for you? It's nothing, Like, it's not worth it, no matter what. So I've learned that it's to be made a lifestyle. This semen retention journey, it's a lifestyle until the point that you are basically with your wife, I'd say, and you want to create a child. I think that's the only good reason, legitimate, good reason to actually come. And even then, you shouldn't be doing it all the time. You only need maybe a couple times until your girl gets pregnant, right? But seriously, guys, like, try it for yourself. At least just try 30 days. 1 week, 2 weeks, like, you're not going to get the benefits. And 2 weeks is the peak. You get over a week, you get 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the hardest time. If you just keep doing 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, you are experiencing the most difficult time in the whole experiment, in the whole journey. Like, you're always peaking at the most difficult time. And if you're always maxing out at 2 weeks, you'll be like, this is so difficult. I can't go any longer than 2 weeks. I can't imagine going a month or 60 days or 90 days, because if you always only go for 2 weeks, you might think 2 weeks is a long time, but you're always peaking at the most difficult time, 2 to 3 weeks. But I usually say 2 weeks. You're peaking every single time. You're putting yourself through the most difficult time ever. And that's extremely difficult, to always be at the hardest point. No, it gets easier after 2 to 3 weeks. I say usually 2 weeks. It gets easier after that. You can control the energy better. So guys, I have a lot to say about this. I hope you guys like this video. I'll definitely be making more videos about this and kind of like specific topics about this type of area. And I just have so many different things to talk about, whether it be meditation and kind of how you think about your thoughts. Because, like, honestly, I've seen other things too. Like, literally what you think, you kind of create your reality. Really, you create your reality with your thoughts. Like, whether you believe it or not, you do. But that's a whole other video. That's a whole different topic. If you guys like this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. If you kind of like this sort of topics and spirituality, this is kind of what this channel is about. I'd appreciate if you want to subscribe, if you want to see more of me, if you kind of like this type of content, I'd appreciate that. And if you have any suggestions for me, or you want to see more videos on semen retention from me, or any kind of other topics related, please leave me a comment in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace and take care, guys. Thanks.